Most people don't love their children, or at least they don't love them unconditionally. And that's important to realize. I call this fish love. Think about it. When somebody says, I love fish, what do they really mean? Do they love the fish in the water? Do they love fish flopping around on their plate, ungutted, or nibbling at their toes when they're swimming? No. What they mean is, I love eating fish. They love it grilled, seasoned, prepared, the way they like it. In other words, they love fish under very specific conditions. And though I wouldn't compare anyone's children to fish, the love many parents feel for their children might actually be more conditional than they think. Honestly, I hate to admit it, but sometimes I struggle with unconditional loving my kids. Like on the third night in a row when I haven't slept because dinosaurs under the bed, or when I come home excited to hug them and instead I get facepalmed because I'm not mommy. It's in those moments that I remind myself I get to be facepalmed. The beauty of parent-child relationships is that you get to experience so many different things together without ever breaking the relationships. Will never go away, or at least I will never go away from my children. So I get to be facepalmed and still be in a relationship, and that's the exact thing that makes that relationship unique. Nonetheless, in those moments, there is a level of conditional love from my side. In fact, psychologists in the 1950s used to say it wasn't a parent's job to love their children. But luckily, research has shown that that's definitely not the best way to go about it, because study shows that children who experience unconditional love are more likely to develop healthy relationships, maintain self-worth, and move through the world knowing that they're valuable, not because of what they achieve, but simply because they do their best and they exist. And the idea of fish love doesn't only apply to kids, it applies to all relationships. Think about your romantic partner, your closest friends. If you constantly criticize your partner for being too heavy, too flaky, too serious, or holding themselves to an impossibly high standard, what message are you really sending? You're telling them, don't be like that, but how I want you to be. But if you supposedly love someone, why would you ever want them to be different from who they authentically are? Loving someone can be a choice to appreciate them fully, frustrations, irritations, and all. And here's a practical tip: to allow yourself to maybe more consciously choose for unconditional love rather than fish love. This is something that my wife and I do. We tell each other, I love you, in the exact moments when we're tempted to be irritated, or when we know the other person is struggling to love themselves. For example, I get absent-minded at home because I love deep thinking, macroeconomics, the future of education, whether France will ever win a Rugby World Cup. And I know my wife noticed it, and I mentally checked out. She could get frustrated by it. I don't like myself for it either. I know I should be more present, but essentially, in all honesty, that's how my brain works, and I'm stuck on whatever grand mystery I'm trying to solve. However, in that moment, my wife doesn't choose to say, you should be like this, be present. But instead she says, Rens, I also love you when you're absent-minded. And that makes a ton of difference. It makes me feel so loved within my life. So if there's anything that you remember from this video, it's not about expecting yourself to love unconditionally all the time, but being aware that you might love those around you less unconditionally than you would like, and to potentially make the decision to love all aspects of them and allow them to truly, authentically be themselves. If you want to feel appreciated for who you are, you might also want a community of like-minded people who value the same kind of deep connection you do. If this resonates with you, I'd love for you to join the community I'm building. Visit Evergrow.community and check out our introduction video. Sign up through the form on the website, because we're building a space where we can explore ideas together, support and appreciate other people's growth, and help each other become more aware of what impact we can have on those that we love. And remember, real love isn't about loving the perfect version of someone. It's about loving them even when they're imperfect. See you in the next video.